Please. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. So just kind of, I'm sorry about that. You can just find a way to, rush it down for them.
So the assessment that we are gonna have, as I said previously, try as much as you can to be original. Try to be organic. You don't need to copy and paste for us. You don't need to deploy the use of AI, right? Because the main reason why we decided to carry out this mid assessment is for us to evaluate your understanding level, right, of what we have treated so far. This understanding level will help us to know if we should forge ahead with what we have done and continue with other models, or we need to revisit the previous model, right? And if generally some people are lacking behind, we can decide to have one-on-one section with them to brush them up to meet up with others, right? So the more original you are, the better for us to understand the state in which you're operating, right? So try to be transparent. But if you want to go by the way of deceit, I'm very much sure you're not doing us any good. You're only doing yourself harm, right? So we are here to support you. We encourage you guys to work as a team. That's another thing why we did this assessment. We want you guys to work as a team, right? Try to be as flexible as you can with your team members. And at the same time, don't be a black sheep in your team that will be drawing them backward. You need to make sacrifices to ensure that people are flowing, are always available to do what do you mean to do the assessments, right? So every group, you guys can elect a leader, you guys can see decide not to have a leader, but whatever way that works for you, it's just made up of 3 persons. So whichever way that you think is the best approach, you guys can get the very best out of your group members. We leave that to you guys. That is why we go by the way of independency. Do your thing and give us results, right? But we want to criticize the use of AI as much as possible. We are gonna fish you out, but it's not about fishing you out. It's about the damage it's going to have on you because you can't be able to grow organically. Before you can be able to prompt AI very well, you need to know the fundamental basis of research. So why not do this as a fundamental basis of growing your confidence in research from scratch to building a problem, to solving a problem, to recommending your solution to the public, right? This is the best way you can grow organically. So we challenge you guys to grow organically. Avoid AI, do your stuff. Fail it, we guide you. We are not here to crucify you. We are not here to undermine your potentials. No, we're here to help you grow organically. That is the essence of this. Other than the bigger picture of what we have, as I've explained before, right? The bigger competition that we are going to have by sometime in Ember month, right? So we want to prepare you guys for it, so that it will be a kind of a compensation from us, the organizers, that majority of you won that award and he has been sponsored to go to US to receive such award in the midst of the congregation, which, as I said before, you might not understand the importance of that now, but in the nearest future to come, that award could add value to you, right? I sometimes, just to derail a bit, sometimes I used to, boy, you know that award I won that time. Can you remember that year that thing came? He said, check 2013. I think 2013. Check your email 2013. They could have the certificate there. I'll be like, I don't have it. So let me check. He said, okay, let me check. Because we used to share most of our certificates. If I win, I would just send to him and say, well, I just collect this one. Oh. The same thing with him. He will just share with me. So most of my award, he has it. Most of his, I have it. So if I'm looking for anyone, he will say, okay, let me check my Google Drive. I can pull it up for you. So some of those things, when it came, we never had need for it. But at some point in life, you might have a kind of a retreat and say, oh, I think I need this, and this thing can add value to me. To say, I started early to end this, and I know where I'm going, right? So we challenge you guys to do this in your way and come up with a result. As I said before, the base group will have something to go home with. I'm not gonna mention that, but just do your best. Don't put your mind on the prize. put your mind on the performance output, right? So the assignment is all about, I said, choose one, one research topic or research problem in your field of study. Identify at least 10 relevant peer-reviewed journal, empirical journal article, preferably published within the last 5 to 7 years, right? And then use those 10 articles. Conduct a structured critical review to demonstrate your understanding of how existing literature can be used to develop a research problem, identify a research gap, formulate research questions, and design an appropriate methodology for a new study. So all we are saying is you guys need to agree in your team what field you are embarking on. And based on the 10 articles you guys have downloaded, be able to put forth a researchable topic, a problem that needs an investigation on, right? And then use it to address the questions that I'm going to explain to you below. And those articles, as I said, must be peer review. I'm sure we have taught you guys how to download peer review articles. If you have concerns, you can ask questions, right? And I said, we are flexible to expand the number of years to 10 years, the articles to 10 years, if you cannot see 5 to 7 years. But this is the preferable timeline. But if you cannot see 5 to 7 years, we can expand it to the last 10 years, right? So download the article, and then from the article, you can be able to do what we are asking you to do. So now we'll go properly into the task. The number one task is, as I said, the assessment is made up of 3 tasks. So the first task is we want you to carry out a systematic literature review of those articles. So identify at least 10 peer-reviewed empirical journals related to the topic you guys have selected. It could be exactly the topic. It could be something very similar to it, right? Now, curate a literature review matrix containing the following information for each of those articles. So I want you to show us a literature review matrix of those 10 articles. And as I was explaining before, you can use Word documents, but make it to be in a landscape page design. Is what they call it? Is it page orientation, right? Instead of portrait, make it landscape so that it will give you more space, right? They can create table on that document. So column 1, we have something like author's name and year of the publication, the title of the study, which is the topic of the title of the research work, right? The next one will have probably country of where the research was carried out, right? And then the next one will carry aim and objective. Next one will carry the key variables in the work. I think we have explained what is variables in the work. So the key variables in the work, right? So these are the things we want you to do. If you're seeing my screen, these are the things we want you to do in that table. In that table. So each of those 10 articles should be represented using these 17 things. As I was explaining before, under research problem, don't go and copy somebody's research problem and come and paste there. Don't copy it and come and paste there. That is why we need you to read that article, read it and understand it. In fact, the smaller your statement of problem, and if it's smaller and is on point, the higher point you earn. If it is elaborate, like when I mean elaborate is like is lengthy, I will assume that you copy somebody's statement of problem. That does not mean you should summarize and miss out the point. No, but try to be as concise as you can in presenting statement of problem. Of course, some articles does not have a subheading that have statement of problem. So you will find it somewhere. So read it. Get us a statement of problem. What is actually the main problem of this research? Put it there for us. What are their objectives they are investigating on? Put it there for us, right? So it should be in a Word document, right? So these are the things that we need: key concept and variables, theory and theoretical framework. Um, these theories, what we need is just the headings of the theories. Headings of the theories. If possible, tell us who profounded the theory and the year the theory was established, right? Research design, population of the study, right? Sample size, sample techniques, method of data collection, research instrument, method of data analysis. We can leave major findings because we have not gotten to that stage. So I will take this off. I will take this off. This and this. Just give me a sec. So 15 now. So these are the 15 things that we need from you. These are the 15 things that we need from you from those 10 articles that you downloaded, right? So once you have completed this first task, you can take this first task good as much as you have completed it. You go to the second task. What is the second task? Now, based on those articles, you guys will formulate your research topic, right? Now, go into testing what we have done so far. Do introduction, which is containing the background to the study, statement of problem. You don't need to make it like as if you're writing a comprehensive project work or a comprehensive thesis or dissertation or whatever. Make it as concise as you want, right? I want if we read it, we will understand the direction where you're going, and we can be able to know if you understood what you have explained or not, right? So this is for this. So tell us the aim of the study. Of course, we have two aims: main aim and specific objectives, right? So don't make it more than 3. Forget about 4. Make it at least 3. If it's 2, wonderful, right? 2 is good. 3 is good, but don't go for 4, right? Then research questions, right? Significance of the study and whatever. So these are the things we expect to do. Same thing applicable to chapter 2. Do chapter 2 for us. Do the conceptual reviews, theoretical frameworks, empirical studies, right? So when you do this, then at the end you do research gap. You do research gap. I am very much sure if you do this very well, this part A, it will help you when you're doing the part, the last 2 of literature review, which is empirical review, because what you're reviewing here is those 10 articles that you have downloaded, nothing extra, just that 10 articles you have downloaded. That's what you're reviewing here. And if you already identify a gap here, so all you need to do is this gap you have identified here can help you to address this research gap under this research work. I've given you an insight a bit. I'm sure the person who handled this explained to you different types of research gap that we have. This is not all. I just hinted a bit so that you can have a flashback on the few things the person discussed, right? So this is for it. So I've equally told you what I want you to do when it comes to literature empirical studies, right? Don't tell me Anokwacha 2025 said this or found this. I don't want that. Give me a critical analysis, right? And I've given you a hint of how to do a critical analysis, what you should look out for. You understand? So what you should look out for, where research agrees, where they disagree, similarities in their findings, contradiction in their findings, difference in the countries, population. So make it critical. Don't do descriptive empirical studies for me, right? Do it analytical, critical. If you have any questions, as I said, put down your questions after explanation. You can now ask me your questions, right? So this is for this. Then when you come to the chapter 3, we have discussed this chapter 3, right? So do the methodology for us. right? Tell us what you should or what you guys are intending to do. Of course, methodology is always futuristic in nature. So the tenses in methodology is always futuristic in nature if the research is still ongoing. It becomes past tense when the research has been completed. So some of your writings will be judged grammatically, right? So it's not only about doing a good presentation. If your tenses are wrongly used, you'll be marked down as well. So be mindful of the tenses you're going to use, right? So these are the things we expect you to do under research methodology, right? Do these things in the work and let us see what you're doing. As I said, be as concise as you can, right? But in your way of summarizing things, don't miss out the major ingredients in your work. Make it comprehensive, but as concise as possible, right? So that is that part. I think it's just let's just leave it this way so that I will just take these ones off. So I'll just take off this one. So just just do the two. Let's leave it. Just leave it this way. The part A and part B, right? So this is the assessment that we're gonna give you guys, and I hope my explanation makes it a bit easier and understandable. So at this point in time, if you have any question, feel free to ask. The floor is open for question. But if you don't have any question, wonderful. But if you have a question, feel free to ask, please.
I think this is self-explanatory. I want to believe it is self-explanatory. Um, as a matter of fact, this thing that we're giving you guys is a, a higher quality research. Listen, and we are exposing you guys to what PhD students do. So it's if you're able to do this, I'm assuring you that if you want to do your PhD, it will be very easy for you. What he just explained to you now is what we call systematic literature review. And systematic literature review is what people study at PhD level. So exposing you to this knowledge at this your level gives you a competitive advantage over PhD students in not just Nigeria, in abroad, in different countries. So I think so. Let's take questions. I think some people are raising their hands. Favor Daniels can go
Should
first.
I
I
stop
saw.
sharing or should I still keep it here?
Maybe you can stop sharing. Maybe if there is need for us to share, then we can share. But I think at this time, sharing is no longer necessary. Oh, we can just start taking their questions. I think Favor Daniels is the first person that raised her hand. So you can stop sharing, start. Favor
Okay.
Daniels. Favor Daniel. Favor Daniels' hand came up first.
Good afternoon, sir. So I have a
Yeah.
question as regards the grouping. From the assignment that was given, it's something that one would have to, it has to be a topic or a field that a person is interested in because we are doing a critical analysis of it. Now, for instance, I might be interested in economics. I would be very comfortable reading something about economics, but I don't know if my partner would also be interested in that. Everybody agrees on. So that's what I think might be a challenge since we are going to do an in-depth study of it.
That is, that is why we made it. That is even more reason we had we had to make it. Yeah, the reducing the number to three becomes relevant for us. So it's something that you will figure out with your other group members. Just like Stanley said earlier, you just have to decide what works for the three of you. Um, you may have uh, you may have interest in economics. Another person may have, interest in another course. But at the end of the day, it is you guys are still within there is a general acceptable research distance. So if it's just for you guys to meet together and meet at some point, you understand, you have a bargaining, two of you, three of you discuss, and you have some level of trade-off, and then you meet yourselves at the center. So that is even another reason for us to, well, that is even why we say teamwork, because we are training you mostly for you to work in the industry, for you to be active in. So if you come to the industry, you have people from different diverse background, from diverse background. And at the end of the day, you are going to work with that team. Whether you people have studied economics together, no. The person may even study agriculture. But at the end of the day, you're working with that person. So what you need to do is to identify your group. That is the first thing you need to do in this assignment. Identify your group members. You guys will meet for the first time. If it is on WhatsApp chat, thank God there is WhatsApp um, conference calls these days. So you just call two of them. You will be on three call, on three of you will be on WhatsApp conference call, and then you people will decide where to start. That is the first step. Then you can now start moving from there. So if there's anything that Stan wants to add to what I've said, yeah, is okay.
Yeah, I think you have actually addressed her concern. As I said earlier, the first challenge is having an agreement because that agreement must be there before you guys can forge ahead, right? So that's the first challenge. So that challenge is intentionally there. So it's not like it's intentionally there. So we have always known that you guys came from different backgrounds, right? So let me give you an instance. I have some publications with Stan. He's from Human Resource Department. I'm from
Yeah.
Account Finance and Data, right? So ask yourself, how did the Human Resource now meet with somebody accounting, finance, and data? How did they come? How did they have a link in? Where is the establishment together, right? So it's all about you bringing in your ideas, and then there must always be a meeting point. Just like as you said, there must always be a meeting point. So that is an intentional, solvable conflict that we decided to do, right? Just to make sure that you guys understand how to do a teamwork. Because in life, you must always have people from different background. It's all about you coming down, having a meeting ground for each other. So I don't know if we answered your question on that. So do you have any other question? If you have any clarification on that, you can ask. But do you have any other question?
No, sir. For now, no, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I would have, although I was thinking probably if maybe social science we could come together, then art would come together. But from your first explanation, it's all good.
No, we don't want to pay you guys according to your discipline. No, people from different background need to coexist. So you guys should coexist and find a meeting point. It must not be in your core discipline, right? It could be a general topic, it could be anything, it could be AI, it could be anything at all. You guys should look for a meeting ground. I'm not gonna say the meeting ground for you guys, but when it becomes so difficult that you guys cannot have a meeting ground, then write to us. We'll find out why all of you are having headache at the same time. So some people need to make things to work. So, but if it becomes so difficult that nobody is shifting ground for each other, then let us know. But I hope it doesn't get to that because that would be like a red flag for your group.
Next question. Chidema Umenadi. I think Chidema's hand was up, and also Cassie's hand was also up. Chidema, go then.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So my
Yeah.
question is on how to get the topic. Not okay. I like the process. So I heard when Mr. Stanley was saying we need to decide on a field. Is it that when we decide on a field, we then go straight to reviewing literatures in that field? Then from reviewing the literatures, we now generate like a topic. Or
Exactly. Exactly what you just said. Just take it that way.
okay, now my question is that my my challenge is that most times in a topic, in a field, there are so many things that you can study in a field. For example, if you go with climate change, there are so many variables you can study affecting climate change. So when we go ahead reading 10 different literatures about climate change, some can be about agriculture and climate change, some can be about green energy and climate change, how do we now narrow it down to a certain topic?
So now let me tell you, you have to choose a topic before you even start talking. Guys, you have to choose, like, okay, let me tell you, this is the process. This kind of assignment, I did it in my first semester in my PhD. That's why I'm telling you that this is something we are exposing you guys to what we do at PhD level. Now, and this another added advantage to you. You're not paying for it. If you know how much people are paying, each course here in the United States, each course people pay up to, because we register for courses every semester, and each course is about 5,000 plus. By the time we register for 3 to 4 courses, we're paying $20,000 in a semester. But by God's grace, some of us, we are on fully, like I for myself, I mean, on fully funded scholarship. So this $20,000 is being paid by the university. I don't even know how they pay it. But then the whole thing is that um, you have to, like we said before, decide a field. Like I was trying to explain, my research focus in my current PhD program is human resource analytics, how we can how can reduce rates of turnover in local government and non-profit in the United States of America. Now, there was a systematic literature review I did last semester, and that literature review was on motivation, motivational incentives that employees, public employees in the public sector are exposed to, or the motivational incentive that should be given to employees to make them remain in the organization. So every article I was downloading, that one I did about 25 articles, 25 articles, downloaded about 25 articles from public sector that talks about motivation. Everything about in that is talking about motivation, compensation, and all of that. What makes people to remain in organization. So, like for instance, I'm giving you this as an instance. You want to know what makes people to remain in an organization. That is a field. That is a kind of what you have in mind. Then you now download literatures. You can download something that people wrote about retention in this local government, retention in federal government agency, retention in this university, retention. So diverse articles, but the center point of whatever you are downloading is talking about what makes people to remain in an organization. That is, you have decided that is the point. Now, when you have downloaded all of these things, you can have out uh, before you start evaluating or start reviewing each of those articles, you will now decide a topic. That topic is, like I said, you want to know what makes people to remain in an organization. So that topic will now guide you on what to review in that. You will now see, when you are now looking into those topics, you are now seeing what are those things that are the motivational incentives in this organization A. What are those things that are incentives in organization B? What are those things? So by the time you see all of these incentives, because there can never be a way when organization A has the same motivational incentive as organization B. So you're reviewing different incentives that happens in different organizations, and you're bringing them. You're like having a coherent um, document that explains what you are bringing all of these together in one paper. You are bringing all of those things you've discovered that are happening in different organizations. You are bringing it together in your own paper. You're bringing it to one paper, and it becomes a full paper that you can even publish. So, in fact, one of those things, the things I did, I'm even going to present it at a conference. I'll be traveling to one conference sometime in November to present a paper. I submitted the paper and it was accepted. So if you do this well, you can even, get to the stage of, publishing it. I have a couple of journals that I'm currently a member of the editorial board. So if you do a good paper, I can help you. We submit it to them, and if our editorial committee look at it very well, they can publish it for you guys. So these are the things. So just decide a field, then decide a topic, and then start working on those topics. Have you been clear, Chidema?
Yes, yes. But there's something I want to say. With
Mm,
the explanation you gave, it means that most times, like the explanation you gave means that like the topic will be something like determinants of something or drivers of something. Will we be able to study like the impact of something on something if we go through with that narrative?
Let me come in to explain something to you, right? If you want to embark on a research journey, the first thing you do is identify the field that you want to go into. Field is number one. Field has to do with it could be management, it could be arts, it could be health, it could be agriculture, it could be whatever, right? That is the field. Now, once you identify the field, that's number one step. Identify the field. I'm just trying to help you guys out because you guys are coming from different backgrounds. So the first discussion would be, what field are we going into, right? Once you guys agree on a field, let me just say, you guys are saying, I'm going into management, like management field, right? Now, the next question is, what discipline in management are you guys going into? What discipline? Because in management, we have different disciplines in management. What discipline? You guys will not agree on a particular discipline you want to go into, right? Once that has been established, the next thing, example of discipline could be economics, it could be accounting, it could be public administration. Now establish a discipline, right? Don't be selfish. Let me use that word. Don't be selfish in choosing discipline. It must not be your discipline. Be flexible, right? So once you establish a discipline, right, ask yourself, what subject area, what research subject or research area are you guys going into? I'm giving you step by step how it's been the easiest way to uh, reach an agreement, right? What research subject are you guys going into in that research discipline, right? So you guys might say, okay, I want to go into climate change. Climate change is a subject, right? Now, that climate change, you can Google topics on climate change. If you guys have agreed to the point of having a research subject, then it means the work has finished. Because the research subject will not give you the independent variable going. So what you're not looking for is to give you the independent variable. What you're not looking for is the dependent variable, which it might not easily come up in your mind unless you guys research, unless you have a proposed topic you want to suggest. Other than that, let me say you guys are coming from a neutral angle. You don't have any topic in mind at all. But you guys want to develop into something. Once you have gotten into research subject, which is now an independent variable, you can Google research topics under that independent variable to be able to come up with something that is unique for you guys. right? So once you Google, you see different topics. And when you begin to read articles, you will be able to come up with something and say, oh, I have this research topic I want to propose. Do you see how research title now come inside? Right? You now say, I have a research title I want to propose. Based on what I have seen on research subject, I have a research title I want to propose. The person will say, okay, what is it? You produce the research title. The person will say, oh, this is good. Or we can change the dependent variable to this. Instead of saying something like sustainability, we can say something like performance, or we can say something like growth, something like that. Why not we change the dependent to this, right? This is how you harmonize your point to the point of having that research. Because what you're asking is, how do you get to the point of having research of a research title? So getting to the point of getting research title, have a systematic way of flowing it, of following it. First, research field. Second, research subject. Third, research topic, which is the independent variable. Then you now, with that independent variable, can now research and get research title. I don't know if that makes sense to you and if that could actually help you to be able to come to a conclusive research title. Did that make your situation worse, or is it better off?
It did. Thank you very much.
It was. There are sometimes, I don't blame you guys. It's a situation. Most of us, uh, we didn't have the opportunity to go in depth in research while in undergraduate, and that is why it's always a little bit difficult. You know, most times, I wonder. Most universities in the US, with bachelor's, someone can start a PhD. They made it that way. It is the system in the US. But for me, I've actually, in one of my chats with my projects, my professors here, I've actually told them that that system may work for people in America, but for some of us in Africa, I think I'm not trying to say that they should change it, but then we need to have masters. We need to do masters before we do PhD. Because I tell you most solemnly, when I did my masters, that was when I actually understood what research is all about before. And that is why in this PhD now, it's not too difficult. A lot of people cry about PhD but fortunately for me, this PhD is one of the, would I say, easiest academic level I have been in my life. Because why? Because I took 2 years to get myself in research, grounded in research. So now that I'm doing my PhD, but assuming I came directly into PhD to come, by like with my bachelor's in Makalabara, then moved straight to do PhD, I may find it a little bit difficult especially in my first semester. But in my first semester in my PhD year, my CGPA was about 3.85 over 4.0. So I mean, I made almost A's in all my courses, and it was more of research, 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 and you do a lot of paper review and all that. So I understand it's difficult. It sounds somehow to you guys. I felt that way, but we are exposing you guys to a high-powered knowledge, which will help you to stabilize very well if you want to go into masters and PhD. So if you're able to do this, just like Stanley said, able to do this very well, I believe you will find yourself very easy you will find it very easy if you go into masters and PhD, and you will find it very easy in publications. You can even have a lot of publications even with your bachelor's, and that will give you a lot of leverage if you want to apply for something. Just like we have something we call global talent visa in the UK. You can even apply for global talent visa with high level of research this thing. from any part of the world that you are. So some of these things are very, very important for you. Just like Stanley said, you may not understand the nitty-gritty of what we are doing for you guys today, but in future you will understand it better. So just do your part very well. And I believe Stanley is our is the chairman of our research and development committee at Edu Africa, and he is very good at what he does. So that's why that position was earned. It's not by political. It is he earned it. So and he has been handling it. So there are sometimes you do political appointments, just like in Nigeria, you see somebody who studied agriculture become a minister of finance. I don't know what that person can do there. So, but his appointment as the chairman of research and development in Edo Africa is something that it is something that he earned. It's because he has done it over and he has a research consultancy firm and all that. So it's actually he's here to guide you guys very well. So if you have any question while doing it, then just like he said, submit, do what you can do, submit. We will criticize, we will review, we'll give you feedback. And our aim is we are not expecting you guys to do perfect work. That is number one. In fact, you can't even do, nobody can even do perfect. Even myself, I can't even do perfect work. But just do the much you can, and we'll look at it and give you feedback, and then you will work on on the feedback and improve yourselves as we move on. I
So
think,
just to add to that, before I don't know if I have more questions. Somebody asked, our project topic, should it be primary or secondary database? I'm not going to tell you if it's going to be primary or secondary because I'm not the one choosing your research title for you, right? It is you guys that is choosing the research title. So during the course of your selection or your decision of making the research title, you guys can now know if it is going to be primary based or secondary based. So that answer still fall back to you guys after you might have decided on the research title that you want to work on, right? Just like as I said before, if there is an absolute chaos in reaching a decisive research title, like it's not working, you guys are not having a meeting ground, three of you, right? Send us a message. I will create time and jump in one of your meetings. And trust me, we're gonna have a meeting point, right? So as I said, I can publish paper with anybody for the fact that I have my area of strength. You have your area of strength. Tell me your area of strength. I will incorporate my area of strength. We'll do a job together, right? So all I'm saying is there's always a meeting ground. Don't be selfish. Don't be rigid, right? Always allow people to express their views, right? From their views, you can now know how best to do it. Do you understand? So, as I said, if you have difficulty, just let us know. We'll always come in and look for a way because let me call it a battle. It's a mini battle because it's intentionally, as I said, it was intentionally inflicted, but just for us to know how you guys can work as a team. Do you understand? So we want to see you guys being able to be flexible and to carry each other along. So do you have another question, please?
so please, okay, Rachel, I want to ask questions. So please, we are kind of, we will give you guys 1 week. We're expecting you guys to submit your assignment by next weekend.
Yes,
Let's,
1 week is enough.
yeah, let it be your task for the whole of this week. Do it. So as soon as we drop from this class, no, you rush, you go into it and start organizing yourselves. I believe that some of you here also in the other groups. Hello, can you hear me? I don't know. It's like this thing is hanging. Can you
We
hear
are
me?
we are hearing you, but yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah. So just organize yourselves and start working towards. You should be able to find yourself somewhere by today, tomorrow, so that by Monday you will have to start putting things like I explained to you when we started. So each group you have to create a Google shared document where three of you can actually edit from any time. So probably what I will advise you guys to do is to have a folder where you will um what do you call it? You will put in the articles you've downloaded. That's how we organize our things in most cases. So you put in the articles you've actually gotten, and then from there you can be is seeing it from there. You're raising your hand, class rep.
Is it
Yeah.
Rachel? I think Rachel raised her hand first. Is it Rachel or Raphael? I don't know who raised her hand. Somebody raised her hand before. Is it Rachel or Raphael? I don't know. I couldn't get that name.
I
Okay.
think
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. I wanted to ask for an extension of the time. Um, well,
From
some of
that's
us,
exactly
from when to
that
when?
is that.
I was thinking that 1 week is too close. Well, I just want to stand from my point of view. Some of us are working full time and going to school. Like after work, we spend 4 hours in class. So I don't know for others, but just so we can contribute and not just resort to other needs. So I was
What
just
time? What time frame do you think is good for you guys?
I think if we are still insisting on the 1 week, we can expect that not all of us would have finished by then. So if it can be 1 week, but I'm asking for more room, you know.
I asked you a question. What time frame do you think is best suitable for the work?
Okay, I would suggest 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Who is
Eh,
if you're in for 2 weeks? Stanley, let's do a democratic voting on this. If you're
mm,
in for 1 week, just go to chat. Don't say it here. Just go to chat. If you're in for 1 week, say 1 week. If you're in for 2 weeks, say 2 weeks. The highest votes carries it.
and all of them will say 2 weeks. No, that's
Okay, you knew everybody would say 2 weeks.
even if yeah, people should try and do this thing. Let me give you people 1 month. If you see, as long as they're saying that, the same could die, could die.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. 2 weeks has it. So we are leaving it for 2 weeks, right? So we just want to make it a bit flexible for all of you, right? 2 weeks is fine. So do you have another question? So before we call it a day, do you have another question, please? Another person?
So
I don't know what Raphael was asking here. Raphael was saying something about what document. I don't know what you mean by what document, Raphael.
I wanted to share something like this to you. So can you people see my screen?
Hello?
So can you people see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so this is a collaborative. This is our the our collaboration between ICMA and Edu Afrique. So this is a work document we created. So this is where we have all our documents. This is where we talked about. I'm not going to open it because it's a confidential document, but I'm just telling you guys that this is what you can do. Create something like this.
And everybody will having access to it.
Everybody will have access to it. Like for instance, now this document now, all of us at Edu Africa has document on it, and then NCMA people have access to it. So anything I do, if I do anything, I just want to upload it here. Automatically, they will see it from their end. So this one is where we talked about competition. What's the details of the competition? Then this is a document that is containing the rubrics that the judges are going to use to judge this thing. And then this one is talking about the program, the timeline. There's another one that is that timeline. This one is the flyer that we have been sharing. And then this one is where we'll be putting now, because now we are accepting applications from lecturers from different parts of the world. So at the end of the day, we are going to be putting their names here. Then those we shortlist will put their names here and their email and everything. So this is why I'm sharing why I'm opening this is for you to see how collaborative document looks like. I don't know if I believe that most of you must have seen it, but I'm just showing you. So you create it on a OneDrive and everybody will be putting in this. So those documents you download, those articles you download, you can have a folder. Inside this place, you can create a folder inside this place. So you don't need to scatter the whole, because if, let's say, for instance, Chedema Umennadi downloaded 10 folders, like 10 articles, you come and put all of the 10 here. No, it will be so scattered. So what you do is, Chedema Umennadi can download 10 and create a folder inside here and name it Chedema Umennadi's articles. Then inside that folder, you now have your 10 documents or 10 articles inside that. Then the other person, who may be Lady Rachel, will download and say 10, articles of Lady Rachel. It will be in a folder. So another person in the group will download. So that you guys can be going into that folder. You know that this one is for, and it will also give us, at the end of the day, we want you guys to even submit your work document. We want to just see what you guys did, so that we see the ones that Chidinma download. So like we said, we want everybody to participate in this. And the only way we can do that is by knowing what each person has done. So at the end of the day, we will see that Chidinma downloaded 10 articles. And we look at the articles that Chidinma downloaded. We will even start from, because we said peer-reviewed articles. There's a difference between peer-reviewed articles and just an ordinary article. The peer-reviewed article is more sophisticated and is more is for you to publish a peer review article. It's very difficult. Even last week, we reviewed an article. We started reviewing that article since May, and it's 2 days ago we took a decision that we are not going to accept that article. I read that article. I gave my reports and all that, but the article wasn't. A lot of people reviewed it. Peer review means that a lot of people reviewed your article. A lot of people reviewed it. So when a lot of people review and say that this article looks good, it means that it looks good. That is why peer review article is more sophisticated than any other one that just few persons or one or two persons reviewed and published. It. Peer review article is published, some people even take up to 1 year before one article is published, because a lot of people will read it. So
like this article I submitted since January, those guys they have taken joy out of my soul.
they will suffer you. I know now. That is how.
They have taken joy. Like these guys have. I was like, I wrote to the editor. I was like, what is going on? Why you guys keep bouncing the paper back? I have done all the necessary corrections. So why are you guys still coming back with? Oh my god! So it takes time. It takes time. It's not something that you submit to them tomorrow. It's just get accepted, right? So
Yeah. Peer review article can be frustrating. It can be like that, because a lot of people, one thing that scholars have refused to accept is that, or have refused to, scholars can hardly agree. That's one thing. Scholars can hardly agree. Do you know why? Because scholars are scholars, so
yeah,
everybody is
and people
intelligent.
think
So
people think from different perspectives. Research is just
yeah,
vast. It's just
so
like
it's
a
so
journey that have different routes for you to get your destination. Some people can decide to
exactly.
operate from different directions. That's how research is. It's complex. There's no
Yeah.
rigid process of getting to your destination, right? So we have 6 minutes to end the program. So
Let's
you
see.
can
Let's
ask
see,
your
Raphael.
question. You can ask your question, Raphael. If you can drop on chat box, that could equally help. So yeah, go ahead, Raphael.
Yes, please, good afternoon, everyone. So the question I placed in the chat box, Mr. Stanley Okafor is saying he's not clear, so I want to explain. In my group like this, the group that our course represents, one person is currently not in the class. And so I will have to explain all that happened in the class for the person so that we can work this thing together. I was just pleading that the Word document you shared for us, on which the questions are, um, if you can share it to us in the group so that um, we will get to the exact words, the exact terms in the question so that we can use it to explain to our colleagues who are not around, who are currently not in the class, so that we can do a very good job. Because when we use words of mouth to guess and explain, we may miss some key terms and key ingredients in the questions. So I was just feeling that Mr. Stylo Campo can share the Word document that contain the question there, the assignment, so that we can make good use of it.
Yes, I will drop that immediately after
It's for
this
you.
class, and I will drop that immediately after this class, and also this section I think is recorded as well, so the person can go to the recorded version of it and listen to it, and then get a clearer clarification of any concern. And also, if you have any problem with any of those topics, go back to the recording, listen to it, and get clarity as well. So I think with that, you're gonna make a headway to it. So if you have any other question, feel free to drop it on the chat, and then from there we can continue. As I said, we wish you guys all the best. It's gonna be challenging, but trust me, the challenge is worth trying, and it's going to refine you. And if you can give your best to it, trust me, you will have a cause to stand up one day and said, "Thank you for this program." But if you want to go and cheat and copy and use AI, or now you sabi, right? Let me use the one now you sabi. You know the benefits that you want to derive from it. So many people have lost, just like what Stanley was saying about doing the PhD program, right? Everything is only. I'm not trying to demean our learning pattern. It's only in some African countries that we are still using theoretical based system of teaching, right? That is why somebody who graduated from Nigeria and moved down to Western world find it difficult at the early phase to adapt because of the teaching pattern. Western world is more of research based. Even your MSc it is more of research based. Assignment is research based. Everything is research based, right? So, but and they do less of exams. They do more of research based assessment, right? Because they want to test your writing skills and your understanding skills. But while in some African countries, we do more of paper exam assessment stuff, right? So, but whichever is the case, we are here to help and to make sure that we bridge the gap between African learning pattern and Western learning pattern. You understand? So, we wish you guys best of luck from my own end. So, Stanley, if you have any other thing you want to tell them,
I
you
don't
can
think,
tell them. I think I've addressed all their
yeah,
concerns.
yeah, I don't think there's any other thing. We have given them all they need to know. I mean, just like you say, we're trying to bridge the gap between um what we did what we are doing in our place and what we are doing at the Western world. Yeah, in the Western world, we don't do those. Like I told you guys, my master, throughout my master, I've never been in the classroom. That thing that they normally do in Nigeria, where you will sit down and they will give you question paper and the answer sheet, and you will start writing. The lecturers will be walking up and down, evaluating you whether you are doing expo or not. Nobody has time about that. Nobody does that. Throughout my masters here, there's nothing like those kind of things. It's all about write a paper, present it, write a paper, present, and it's a practical thing, not even something, and nobody's helping you. You're on your own. It's not like this now. You go to computer village and you go and meet one computer village people, and then those people will get some of the things that they have before, and then they will edit it for you. Go and submit it. Wow. So those things are not here. Who is this Olawole?
Yeah, is a friend as always joining the program.
Okay, okay, okay. I thought he's a student that we will need to add to a group. All right.
Um, no, it's not. It's not in the group. I don't know if he wants to join the group. Olawale, do you want to join the group?
Hello, good morning. Okay, from here, good morning, everyone. Well, I wish I could, but the activities with me, I won't be able to join the group. But I enjoyed just like Sally is my friend from the UK, so we've been together like I just want to improve my research skills. Then that is why I like to join this class, now the classes that I've been doing over the time. So, but I have so many, and which Stanley knows, I have so many activities which I will be able to. But over like as the classes go on, I will be joining to listen, to the lecturers or the facilitators. So I will plead that I will not be, because if I join, I may not be able to meet up the activities or the assessment given. But I'm just doing this so that um, I won't lose my research skills. So I'll plead for you know for you guys to forgive me. Yes.
No, that's fine. We just wanted to know if you want to join the group. It's fine. We've already shared the group, so we are happy to always have your presence.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
All right. I wish you guys good luck, and I will be meeting. I know that some of you are also in graduate school, so I'll be meeting you guys also in graduate because they have their own assignment, and also the AI people they have their own assignment. So we'll be meeting then for tomorrow's for the I think the AI class and graduate school class. We will hold class tomorrow. We will hold class tomorrow, but for this research, because the research is more tedious kind of we decided not to hold class for this week. So this class is more or less to give you guys explain to you guys what we want in this assignment, and then we move forward from there. Thank you all, and may God bless.
Have a nice weekend and enjoy yourself, okay? If you have any question, drop it in the WhatsApp group. We'll have a look. Bye bye,
Yeah.
guys.
All right. Bye, guys.